Welcome back to the Executive Chair, y'all. And today we are going to talk about switching your mindset and let's talking about empire building. And the reality is that every single empire started with one thing, one focus, one objective, one cheat code, if you will. This today, what we're going to be talking about is what is the one thing that you want to build your empire around? Is it a service? Is it a product? Is it a technique? What is the one thing that can catapult your business into it becoming multiple streams? It's something to think about, right? Okay, all right. Come on in, y'all. Welcome to the executive chair. Let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to take that one thing that you do oh so well and the one thing that your clients, your colleagues, and everybody knows that you do extremely well and elevate that to the next level, because the whole idea of being a jack of all trade is cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody should have at least one signature service. Whether you're a barber, whether it is the ability to create lines and dimensions and haircuts, or whether you're a nail tech and being able to do the very perfect absolutely perfect French manicure, or even if you are a waxer and nobody can outdo your waxing techniques, okay? And as a hairstylist, we have so many different options. Whether you are an extension expert or a colorist or a master cutter or whatever it is. Today, I want to talk about taking that one thing. Remember A. Marie, this one thing? Okay, I ain't a singer, so never mind. But taking that one thing and creating your entire empire based off of showing people and or marketing that one thing. The reality is that we have to get out of the mentality of crabs in a barrel, right? I always say I work in solo salons surrounded by 32 other artists. I think it's 33 suites. 32 other artists. And I say this respectfully. What they do has absolutely nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter, right? There are other hairstylists in there that do exactly what I do. And there are other hairstylists in there that do absolutely nothing that I do. But the thing that separates all of us is your clients. Your clients go to whoever it is that they want and whatever signature service they're looking to receive when they get there. So at this point, I'm thinking in my head, do you even know what your signature service is? I know off the top of my head, I have like 3 signature services. And that's not saying that all of them can't be equally great. They can be. And at the same time, those 3 things allow me to have different streams from every single one of them. Like, how insane is that? So I mentioned crabs in a barrel, right? So I'm saying that in terms of you can't worry about what anybody else is doing or what other service somebody else offers that is similar to your service, because the people, your clients, are coming to you specifically for you, right? I always say the who prints money? I can't remember. Anyhow, the government prints money every single day. And even though cash isn't even a thing nowadays, the moment that the government stops printing money, that's when you get worried. Until then, there are so many limitless opportunities out there, and all of us can eat, and all of us can be 6-figure clients, and we can also learn from each other. At this point, I want to talk about my 3 services that I offer, or the 3 things that I have in my business that are a part of my empire. So I do sew-ins. Like, I can literally do a sew-in with my eyes closed. I can. And it's also a service that I absolutely enjoy in every single way. I've always loved the transformation that a sew-in brings to your look, to your appearance, to how you feel, to when you put your clothes on, like the whole bit. I enjoy getting better at sew-ins because, like I said, there's always something to learn. There's always a better way of doing something. The second part of my empire would be the VA wigs piece of my business. I enjoy the VA wigs just because it gives me a chance to give back to veterans, right? Like they've served our company, they've served our country, they've done their due diligence, they've taken care of us. And this gives me an opportunity to bring back their confidence, to bring back what they lost in their hair. And I always say, you can buy hair. Like, hair is not an issue. We can always buy that. But your confidence and the way you feel is mind blowing in every single way. And lastly is microlinks. I love microlinks in every single way. I love the flexibility that they provide. I love the freeness of the hair. I love the technique in every single way. It's so, I don't want to say sneaky, but it's such a disguise type of install. It's so flat and so smooth, and the versatility and the options are completely limitless. So these are my three: sew-ins, VA wigs, and microlinks. So now let's talk about how those three pieces of my empire transform into into three different streams in my business. And by now, I hope that you're thinking in your head, or you have an idea of what your one, two, or three pieces of your empire are. Because now the ticking should start going in your head. Now you should start thinking. Now the strategy piece of your mind should be going and saying, okay, what do I know that I can show, that I can teach and or educate somebody else about? It's always about us learning, getting better, and leaving something behind for the next generation of stylists. So now that we've established the three pieces of my empire, I'm thinking about this piece in terms of a house, right? And excuse my analogy, my husband's a home inspector, so this is just the way my brain thinks. So with a house, you have the foundations, you have the frame or the walls, and you have the roof. Those are the three main components of a house. So in empire building, I'm thinking about the foundation of my business as being my sew-ins, right? That is the most booked service that I have inside of my business. So without, it's my bread and butter, if you will, okay? Now let's talk about the walls and or the framing of my business. The framing of my business is, I would probably say, is my microlinks, because the microlinks do provide, it is an expensive service, let me say that. So it provides flexibility for that client who works out or who wants to swim and or who has any scalp issues. So doing a sew-in for them doesn't necessarily work. So they need access to the scalp. So for that reason, they look for a service like microlinks. Okay. Then I think about the roof as being the VA wigs. The VA wigs are important to my business, and I need them in order to have the cash flow that I'm wanting inside of my business. And without the roof, my house is exposed and open, right? Are y'all following? Okay. Okay. So each piece of my house helps make my house complete in every single way. So my sew-ins are basically my bread and butter. They help me take care of my expenses of my business. They help me pay my bills. They help me do all of the things that I need to do in order to sustain my business. My microlinks are they are an additive to my business, right? While they're very much so needed, they are not the foundation of my business. Okay. The VA wigs is also a covering of my business. while it provides great cash flow, without it, my business could still sustain, but it wouldn't have the complete coverage that it has with it. Okay? I feel like I'm making sense. Am I making sense? Okay. All right. So for each piece of that business, my sew-ins is a service that I have to perform behind the chair. But just because that is a service that I have to perform behind the chair, that doesn't mean that that service does not allow me to expand on it. So, what else could I do with the sew-ins to create another income source? I could do online courses. I could do braiding technique classes. I could do sewing classes. I can show different ways to allow the longevity of the sew-in to last longer. Are you getting it? Okay. So if you are a barber and you have the ability to create these amazing designs free-handedly, how can you take that ability that you have and create another income source? Is that doing an online course showing people what you do? And let me put a pause there. My husband always says that the things that you think everybody else knows too. And that's not true. That is not true. But just because you know it, you assume everybody else knows it too. No, people don't know stuff. That's why mentorship is so huge. I started the executive chair mentorship program because there are so many different pieces to the beauty industry that are pockets of information that I wish I knew when I first got started. But without having that mentorship guide, yes, you get to your final destination, but you could have gotten there a whole lot quicker and a whole lot smarter if you had somebody guiding the way. Okay? So going back to the barber, you have the ability to show somebody how you do what you do and or make their skills better. Okay? So in terms of the microlinks, I offer microlink courses, classes where it's one-on-one. I provide the tools, I provide the hair just to show you how to properly do this. And because this is such an intricate service, bead placement, weft placement, using the right tools, all of those things matter because if you do any piece of that install incorrectly, it could cause damage. It could cause breakage. I mean, like hair coming out. So it's so important that you do this properly to be able to ensure your client and to ensure the health of your client's hair and to give them the flexibility that you promised. Okay. So now let's talk about the VA piece. With the VA piece, this piece is so detailed in every single way in terms of your business being accurately set up correctly, meaning that your LLC for your state must match your IRS information. Your IRS information must match your banking account information. Your bank account information needs to all coincide with those three pieces in order for the federal government to acknowledge you as a viable business and as somebody that they would potentially do business with. So, it took me a long time to figure out how to become a SAMS vendor. So with what I've learned from being a SAMS vendor for the Veteran Administration, I take that knowledge, I piled it into a course, and I show people how to become a vendor for the federal government. That was a lot. So now I hope that the wheels in your head are turning in a way that makes you think, what else do I know that somebody else probably doesn't know that could help and or change their business in terms of empire building? So let's break the myth. Let's break the myth of I need more clients. You don't. You absolutely don't. The change of mindset as a CEO says, how do I replace the idea of I need more clients into I need more streams for that same client demand? It's a difference. So now we're working smarter and not harder, okay? Because what you know is shareable information. And it's also teachable information that can be used as a resource for somebody who is looking to do what you do and get in your field and get into your area of expertise. It's no longer about the ability to attract more clients. It's about taking what you already have and what you already know and creating more streams behind that alone. So today, as I close, my question is, what is your power service? What is it? I am dying to know. What is your foundation of your business, of your house, or of your empire? What is the walls of your business? And what's the roof? And how can you take those three basic things and turn them into multiple streams for your business? And multiple streams meaning education, meaning online courses, meaning mentorship and or coaching, and or physical products. Like you have a scalp oil that is curing eczema in the scalp, or you have a topical treatment as a barber that reduces bumps in the back of the head, or you are a lash artist who has figured out this one tool that makes it easier for you to apply individual lashes. How can you take that one thing and build your empire? Now, this does cause you to stretch, and this does cause you to think outside of the box. But you're already an entrepreneur. You're already outside of the box anyway. So why not keep going, right? We're already here now. The truth is that your empire won't be built by adding 10 more services. 10 more services to your menu. It will be built by multiplying the one thing that you already do better than everyone else. It's a power move. So I want to leave you today with this one challenge. What is your signature service? And how can you turn that signature service into multiple streams? I sincerely hope I made you think today. I sincerely hope that the wheels in your head are turning extremely fast and that you are thinking about your business in a way you never thought about it before. This is why these conversations need to be had. This is why I started the executive chair coaching program, because there is so much information that is available to beautypreneurs across the board. You can take what you know from one piece of your business and turn it into an empire by itself, all from you changing your mindset, widening your horizon, and doing something that you've never done before in order to change the legacy that you're building. Okay? Okay. So in the comments, tell me today, what is your foundation? What is your walls? And what is the roof of your business? I can't wait to hear from you. And remember, the executive chair is a place where beauty and business meet and where conversations build legacy. Until next time, y'all.